You may have heard of the illustrious Demeter, the goddess of fertility, the harvest, and the earth, tasked with ensuring agricultural well-being and bountiful harvest. What some may not realize is that it is not unusual to find Demeter wading through lush meadows of green, as there is nothing she loves more than to spend her days combing through the ever-flowing locks of seagrass, a thriving underwater pasture, home to so many of her aquatic friends. Seagrasses are remarkable organisms, as they are able to sequester carbon at a rate of 1,000 tons of carbon per hectare, as well as naturally absorbing and trapping heavy metals in the water column. They are always doing their part to keep the ocean waters she treasures so clean and pure, so she holds these seagrasses close to her heart. So, you might imagine her horror when she starts to notice her dear friend seagrass has started to wither away around her. Slowly at first, but with increasing momentum that left it rare for her to find the lush strands of seagrass she had come to adore. This made her wonder, what could have possibly happened to those fields of green? Could it have been the increasing amount of carbonic acid infiltrating the once pristine waters, thanks to the increased combustion of fossil fuels? Or could it have been the rising temperatures around her, suffocating the seagrass meadows with polluted waters under stressful conditions? Although she couldn't find one cause to shift blame to, she knew what disastrous next steps were ahead. Beachfront homes would begin to feel the full force of waves hitting the shoreline without those seagrass fields slowing down the wave energy. The waters would continue to grow polluted, as the once treasured ability of the seagrass to filter heavy metals and displace carbon would now be gone, allowing those polluters to accumulate in the water's depths. And, much to Demeter's dismay, her aquatic friends would have moved on from the now dead seagrass meadows, as there was nowhere for them to nest, grow, and live. She was devastated but determined. She was now on an unstoppable quest. Demeter was going to restore her beloved seagrass so that the ocean she loved so deeply could continue to thrive. Demeter began to hear the distressed prayers and pleas of the people that inhabited the coastal regions. They all shared the same sentiment. They wished for the return of seagrass to help their collective businesses, lifestyles, and overall well-being, but they were lost in how to start. They had all tried to go out and replant the seagrasses themselves, but were left discouraged when their shuffling of sediment and movements of boats disturbed the soil of the ocean floor, preventing the seagrass from taking root. That was when Demeter had a brilliant idea. She visited her friend Hephaestus, a skilled craftsman that could help her craft the perfect invention to answer these people's prayers. She described the situation to Hephaestus, and he began the arduous process of crafting a solution to this problem. He crafted and prototyped, he tried and he failed, when finally, a drone emerges from the fire, the ultimate solution to the people's prayers and her upsetting dilemma. This little gadget would start the process of regrowing the once lush seagrass fields she treasured and adored. She lovingly referred to these drones as her agents of mass seagrass seed plantings, or Demeter's drones. She began to make as many of these little agents as possible, and began to answer the people's prayers. As they began to flow into the world, they made quick work of replanting at the sites of previously dead seagrass fields. The people watched in glee as they watched their prayers being answered. The drones began to plant the seeds back into the water system, and over time, the seagrass meadows grew back stronger and better than ever. Demeter returns to her beloved lush seagrass meadows, where all of her marine friends had returned to live. The water was cooler, cleaner, and thriving now that her dear friend seagrasses were back and better than ever. All thanks to her brilliant answer to the people's prayers, Demeter's drones.